ते नरः नायं भा विपरीतं भा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवा. Back to Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mati. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. I'll go Srila Prabhupada. I'll try Prabhuji.
Okay, sure.
Sariravan manobhiryat karma prarabdate naraha nyayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetava. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, let's read the. Yeah, someone wanted to read? I thought I heard someone say something.
I'm sorry, I was yawning.
You're yawning. Okay. Okay, so I think this is a very short purport. So one person can read the synonyms, translation, and the purport. So who would like to do that?
I can do, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna. Yeah, synonyms. Yeah, synonyms: Sharira, by the body; walk, speech; Manobhi, the mind, and mind; Yat, which; Karma, work; Parabhate, begins; Prarabdhe, begins; Naraha, a person; Nyayam, right; Va, or; Viprita, the opposite; Va, or; Pancha, 5; Iti, all these; Tasya, its; Hetava, causes. Translation: whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors. Purport: the words right and wrong are very significant in this verse. Right work is work done in terms of the prescribed directions in the scriptures, and wrong work is work done against the principles of the scriptural injunctions. But whatever is done requires these 5 factors for its complete performance. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Like to add something to it?
No, Prabhuji. Yeah, please continue your talk from the last verse, and I think you can shed more light on this. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's also read the next verse, and then we'll come back because the both are kind of okay. Verse 16. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuya pashyati akrata buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmatihi. Okay. Who would like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can pray.
Yeah.
तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम् आत्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यत्तक्राबुधीत्पावन् नासा पश्यति दुर्मति.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Go
Dandat
ahead.
Pranam. I'll give a try Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyaha pasyati akrita buddhitvan nasa pasyati durmatihi. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Tatraiva sati kartarmatmaha kevala tu yaha pashyatya kutta buddhitvan saha pashyati durmatihi. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
I can also try. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Datnam, all Krishna. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuya Pashyati akarta buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmati. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, unless there's someone else would like to go, we can go on to the synonyms. Okay, this is not very long either. So one devotee can just read the whole thing.
Kush Prabhuji, you would like to read?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Tatra there, evam thus, sati being, kartaram the worker, atmanam himself, kevalam only, two but, yah anyone who, pasyati sees. How do you pronounce this?
Yeah, Akrita Buddhivat.
Akrata buddhivat,
Yeah,
due to unintelligence. Na never, sa he, pasyati sees, durmati foolish. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. A foolish person cannot understand that the supersoul is sitting as a friend within and conducting his actions. Although the material causes are the place, the worker, the endeavor, and the senses, the final cause is the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should see not only the four material causes, but the supreme efficient cause as well. One who does not see the supreme thinks himself to be the doer.
like to say anything or add anything? Okay, okay, it's all right. Yeah.
Actually, what does this last sentence mean? Therefore, one should see not only the four material causes, but the supreme efficient cause as well. What does he mean by the supreme efficient cause? Is that
Yeah,
just being in goodness?
we'll get into all that because that comes from the previous verse where there are uh, five factors for action, and
Oh.
the fifth and final one is the Supreme Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So, so he's the one who finally sanctions and uh, sees the sanctioning authority, let's say. So we'll get into that. Okay, so anyone has any thoughts on these two verses? You want to say anything or?
Yeah, after you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, if we go back to the previous verse, uh, it's saying that whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these five factors. So we have heard of body, mind, and words or speech many times. So the body is uh, basically, the things that we do with the physical body, uh, all the movements and work and so on and so, things like that. And then the speech or walk, that's the that's the words we use to speak to each other or communicate or relay our thoughts that are in our mind, whatever they are. There might be, you know, good words or bad words, whatever it is. And then the mind is all the thoughts and desires uh, and various other things that are churning through the mind. We know that during the course of a day, a mind can has about 30,000 thoughts that are constantly uh, uh, constantly going through the mind. So it is we know that the mind is very fickle, and uh, uh, it's constantly wavering. So so this verse is is telling us that uh, the body, mind, and words, they're not independent. Whatever we say or do or act, uh, that is caused by the five factors that we already read yesterday, and I just described already at the beginning of this beginning of this session today. So again, once again, I'll just repeat that the five are the place or the body, the adhisthana, and then the performer, the karta, or the soul, which uh, which is covered by material, which is conditioned. So it's thinking of it. It goes according to the desires of the particular body, and then there are the instruments, the different senses, and so on that execute the action. And then there are the endeavor. So after you have these three, then you have the endeavor, chesta, we have got to do something with our actions. So these are the four uh, material actions. And then we have the super soul, which is sitting in our heart and which actually sanctions whether it's good or bad according to our desires, according to our karma. The super soul will give us what we want, but then we are also morally responsible because if we are doing something which is not in keeping with the scriptures, then we are morally responsible. And for that, we are going to suffer the consequences. But those in people who are in Krishna consciousness, they are they are morally responsible. They know that no matter what we do with our various actions, eventually we are just instruments in the hands of the Super Soul or the Supreme Lord. And our actions are determined by, are going to be sanctioned by the Supreme Lord. So the people in Krishna consciousness are aware of this. And when I say Krishna consciousness, the people who are really elevated, uh, they are aware of this. And so all the actions that they perform are in sync with what the super soul wants. So that's one part of it. Now, in this particular verse, we're talking about body, uh, body, mind, and words. Just one second. Where is that gone? Yeah. So we think that even when we talk, uh, when we speak, uh, we have good thoughts and bad thoughts, and we might we might say nice words, or we might get very angry and show hatred on someone else. So all these are coming from within, and they're being controlled by these five actions that I just spoke about. So Prabhupada is saying that there's a right word and the wrong words, and both are very important. Uh, so doing things right is according to the scriptures, and doing things wrong is going against the scriptures. So this is something we got to be aware of all the time. And but whatever these this type of work, the right or wrong work that we do, is controlled by these five factors, uh, which I've just described. So we have got to be very aware. Well, what it boils down to is those people who are fully conversant with the scriptures, they have read the scriptures, they have read the Bhagavad Gita, and they're following the Bhagavad Gita very well. So in this regard, I'm just reminded of one small episode where a disciple of went to Sri Prabhupada, and he told him that I I can recite all the verses of the Bhagavad Gita from memory. So Prabhupada said, well and good, that's very good. But then do you live the Bhagavad Gita? That's really what it is. Are we living the Bhagavad Gita? Or are we just uh, reciting the verses like a parrot? Which is fine. You should recite the verses, but then you should also live the Bhagavad Gita. And if you can do that, then you're following the scriptural injunctions. And then you won't be at all concerned about uh, what the uh, uh, what the body of or the different actions. You won't worry about the outcome, and you'll just leave the outcome to the Supreme Lord. So those are some of the points in this. Uh, uh, so the right is actions that are just, moral, and aligned with the scriptural injunctions, and wrong are actions that are unjust, uh, improper, or contrary to scripture direction or adharma. The first one is dharma, and the second one is adharma. So the thing that Prabhupada is saying is that uh, irrespective of whether you're doing a right work or wrong work, the 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 five factors are controlling uh, those actions. I mean the right work or the wrong work. The body, mind, and speech are being controlled by the five actions. So you can look upon this in a different way, that uh, if you are trying to build a house, for instance, you buy a plot of land, and then you have an architect, you lay out the plot, and then you buy the building materials, and then you have hire laborers to construct the house. But having done all that, you must also get the permit from the city. If you don't get that permit, then it's useless. You can't go through what you want to do. And the same thing this is all in a material plane, obviously, but the same thing in a factory or a company where they want to hire an individual, so that they go through the process of recruiting the individual, bringing him in, uh, interviewing him, and there's a committee that meets, and they're all very happy and satisfied with his performance, and they want to make him an offer. But then that offer has to be signed off by the upper manager. If he doesn't sign off for any reason, for lack of funding or something, then that action is not going to take place. So uh, that's where, so in a way, the Supreme Lord is a final sanctioner, and he determines what uh, whatever we do. But then there's one small component here, not a small component, but a major one, that is that we are responsible, or we suffer the moral consequences for whatever we did, the right or the wrong. He will sanction it, but we will suffer the moral consequences. So let me go on to the thing we read. Yeah. So this is again kind of the previous verse. It's a little more, it's very similar. It's just that in this case, he's talking, Krishna is describing a person in total illusion. So he uses the word here, which is important. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer. See, the word only means that he alone, he is the sole doer, and that's why that's important. Then, the, then beyond that, uh, he's also, because of that, he's akrita buddhivat. That is because he's unintelligent. And on top of that is durmatihi, or he's foolish. So, combined with all this person puts himself in an illusion where he totally disregards. He doesn't understand that there is a super soul who is actually sanctioning his actions. So such a person is overconfident. He thinks that I did this. This is all my talent. This is all my hard work. I'm working day and night, and I achieved all this. So that's a very common way of thinking, and that happens when we associate the body with the soul, because that is because of the false ego. We think that we are the doers, and we have seen this in previous verses also in the Bhagavad Gita in the earlier chapters. So he's just overconfident, thinking that he's the doer, but he doesn't realize that he is the instrument in the hands of the Supreme. And once again, uh, that uh, as Prabhupada says here, there are four material causes, as we read in the previous, not the previous, the one before that, and then the Supreme Lord, or the Super Soul. So I think that's more or less what I have to say. Uh, Anyone else would like to add anything uh, on these two verses before we go on some more?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You
Yeah,
have touched upon all the points, Prabhuji, about these two verses. So, as we read about these five causes, as you mentioned in the previous chapter, first is the place, which is our body, uh, then the soul, the doer, and then our senses, those are the instruments for the action, and then our effort or endeavor, and the final cause is the super soul. So, Prabhuji, this five causes actually takes place when action happens. So, always action happens with this these five causes, and then in the previous text also he explained that body, mind, and words. These three things are very important to for the action to be happened. And now the question is like prescribed, when Prabhupada is saying prescribed duties, so which is conducive for bhakti, that is actually prescribed duties, because that prescribed duties is coming from the scriptures, and that scripture says that Krishna is our supreme Lord, our absolute truth. So every day to day life, we need to apply the Krishna consciousness. Whatever we do, wherever we are, grihe thako bone thako সদা হরি বলে ডাকো. So whatever you do, we do, but we need to keep Krishna in our mind. And it's not possible like 20, if someone says, yeah, I remember Krishna 24/7, that is only possible for the pure devotee. But we are the conditioned soul. Condition means our soul is contaminated with the three modes of material nature. That's why we are conditioned in this material world. So, but therefore, we need to try our best. And when we have the endeavor, when we have that effort, genuine effort to progress in Krishna consciousness, and that is actually then we are doing the prescribed duties. That is prescribed by the scriptures, because it is conducive for bhakti. But others, where Prabhupada explained in the previous verse, like others who are not following the scriptural injunctions, means who are not devotee or who are kind of atheist, not believing in God, not believing in Krishna's form. So they are actually not progressing in the spiritual life, and therefore in our previous chapter we read that that's why the door of hell will be open for anyone who are not following the bhakti process. That's the one we already read. So here also it says about that. So the place, work and endeavor and senses, and the final cause is the supreme personality Godhead of Godhead. So without we can do our effort, we can do our best endeavor, but Krishna is the person who will sanction final rights. So what Krishna will do? Krishna will always help us to choose the right path. And Krishna, if a devotee surrendered to Krishna, surrendered to Guru, Krishna will give the right intelligence, and with that right intelligence, will able to choose right path in our life, because with Krishna's mercy we can do that. So that is why it is important to discipline our life, and it is also important to progress in Krishna consciousness through this disciplined life, through association of devotees, to practicing every day in our daily life Krishna consciousness. And this body, mind, words we need to dedicate towards Krishna. Means body, we have to use our hands, our feet, our other senses to the service of Krishna. And we need to, words means we need to read, we need to speak about Krishna. That will be our ultimate goal, centered, like we have a Krishna centered life. That is important. And mind, in our mind also we have to think about Krishna as much as possible. That's what at least we have to try every day, and that way it's possible for us to purify in this life. Cheta Darpana Marjanam. And Srila Prabhupada gave us these books. He wrote the books for us night after night, like he slept maybe 3 to 4 hours, and then he wrote the books for us. And he mentioned that I'll be with these books, I live with you with these books. So that's why it is so important to read Prabhupada's books, to read the scriptures, to read the Srila Prabhupada's purport, the commentaries of Acharyas, which will help us to awaken bhakti as well as faith for Krishna. That is very important, to increase faith for Krishna. When we have faith for Krishna, that time anything happens in our life, we will be able to accept that situation if we have faith on Krishna. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I think you explained everything very well. So you explained why Krishna consciousness is so important, because then it's going to purify our soul, and we'll get away from the perception that we'll get away from the perception that the body and soul are together. And people who are uh, in the mode of ignorance, the people who have a false ego, they they don't understand that. So that's why Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2, uh, Krishna spent so many verses explaining how the soul is uh, permanent, but the body is temporary, and it goes through birth, old age, and birth, youth, old age, and death, and so on. Uh, so that distinction people don't understand, and only if you're in Krishna consciousness, one who's practicing bhakti, and as Bhaswati Mataji clearly mentioned, uh, people who associate with the Krishna conscious devotees who associate with other devotees on a regular basis, read the scriptures and and follow and chant their rounds as many as they can, uh, and do this on a regular basis and try to keep improving all the time, then we get away from this feeling that we are the only doer. We are not the only doer. So we really, what we can do is, which as Mataji mentioned, that Krishna will help us uh, once we make the effort to to show interest in the chanting and keep on chanting in a sincere way, then Krishna will will come to us and help us keep making further progress and keep cleaning our heart and remove our soul from the conditioned state that it is in. Uh, Anyone else would like to add anything?
Prabhuji, I just read the verse 15, yeah, and I want to just give like my understanding of that, and here the Prabhupada says that whatever right or wrong action man performs is by the body, mind, and speech, and basically it is cause. Hetu means a cause caused by these five factors, right? So my understanding here is like mm, anything happens first, it appears in your mind, then it appears in your speech, and you spoke that with your body or with the mouth, right? So what I feel here, because of this right and wrong work which we are doing, I think we have to purify first. We have to purify our body to make sure it is healthy and clean and everything. Second is our mind. Our mind should be purified, and once body and mind is purified, automatically your speech will be also get purified, and that using that three things, I think the whatever the again with the help of Supreme Lord, Super Soul, Lord Sri Krishna, I think whatever the actions we will do, they will be always right, and there is not the chance that we will be on the wrong path. So I think yeah, means all these things needs to be purified, and I think the only way you can purify your body, speech, and mind is bhakti marga, or the association of devotees, and to be on the right path of like the Prabhupada ji has given to us. I think that is the right path, and everybody should follow that one. Yeah, that is my understanding. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think that is a good understanding. So we're really talking about uh, sincerely following the bhakti path, as you said, following the principles and laid out in Prabhupada in Krishna consciousness, uh, which we do all our chanting and associating with devotees and various other seva and activities that we have in Krishna consciousness. Uh, any other points? Anyone else wants to say anything? Sunita Mataji or anyone else?
I'd like to say something if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hare Krishna. So like just I'm still pretty new and everything like that, but the past couple of days, going over the verses that we've went over and stuff, just in my personal life, it's helped me a lot, and just it's really made me feel more about doing for my family and going to work and, being here for the scriptures and reading more than I already read. So, all of this I happened to come in at a right time and it really helped. And thank you all for just listening.
Thank you for those thoughts. So let me ask you one thing. Are you new to this or I mean, have you been in Krishna conscious before or are you just joining?
So I've been reading the books on and off for
Oh,
a few years now.
okay,
I started with the Science to Self-Realization.
okay,
So I've really just been reading through the books and everything like that, and trying to find something I can be more part of, because at the moment I don't drive, so it's hard for me to get to places. So the Zoom calls really help and let me participate and you know try and be more on this path.
okay. That's good because reading the scriptures is very good. Reading, but if you read and also do it in association like you're doing now with the others, then we just feed off each other. We're just exchanging our information from one to the other, and we are pooling everything and trying to understand what the Bhagavad Gita is saying. That's what this class is all about. Okay. Any other thoughts from anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji then. Yeah, wonderful discussion, Prabhuji. You, Baswati Mataji, Nick Prabhu, Mahesh Prabhu, everyone. So, as Mahesh Prabhu was mentioning, so why the bhakti path is very easy. In fact, we can achieve liberation in many ways, but bhakti path is the easiest way to attain. As you know, we have Samipya, Sarupya, Salokya, where in the same, but and Sayujya, which is liberation. But Bhakti path will give us the quickest, if we have to go from here to maybe New York, we can directly go either on the road. Of course, we can go all the way to Bay Area and come back, or go around in a cruise ship around the world and go. But taking a direct flight, maybe quickest way, maybe 2 hours. So I'm just thinking, giving a crude example. Uh, you know, so that way, as we know, because the Supreme Lord, is the ultimate cause, as we know, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So therefore, acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of Guru Sadhu Shastra, as Mataji mentioned, is very important. And naturally, such a person is not bound by any activity. And those in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible for their actions, because whatever they do are Krishna says he is responsible for their activities as well, because they don't do anything other than what Krishna says. So as we read in about these 5 causes, the adhisthanam, karta, karana, cheshta, ultimate cause is the daivam, the super soul. And we discussed the BMW, as Mataji mentioned, body mind works, right? So this is very important. But how we are doing this, you know our body mind speech works, everything is important, because you can do it in right way or wrong way. Some people, even a thief, he knows that Krishna is in his heart, but he prays to Krishna, can you please help me with, because how we do, please make my activity good for the day, because we are doing, a good activity. The thief also does the same thing. He does, oh Lord, please help me. I'm going to steal from this, home. You know, of course, sometimes like Krishna sanctions, but at what cost? He will have to suffer his own karma. So the right work is work done in terms of prescribed scriptural directions. Wrong work done against the principle of scriptural injunctions. So as a father, sometimes son says, "Oh, I want to, there may be a fire, a small candle. I want to touch it." Or a father says, "Don't do it, don't do it." But sometimes, okay, he has to face this. Once he touches it, he realizes, "Oh, that's fire. I can't touch it." So in that way, we have to be very careful. That's why we have to follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. So Krishna categorizes the action into the three, right, that performed with the body, mind, words. And action in all these categories can be performed either according to the Shastric or against it. In either case, however, it is the super soul who is ultimately sanctions our actions. Because without his sanction, not even a blade of grass can move. And this is confirmed. So that's why we should be very careful, to what we are doing. Because the final doer, of course, is the Supreme Lord, as we discussed yesterday also. Our endeavor should be there. But ultimately, without Krishna's sanction, nothing is possible. So that being said, we have to do our endeavor very thoughtfully, nicely, and also it is not intelligent to consider oneself as an independent doer, because as we know that whatever we do, the sanction has to. So, but we have to. Krishna has given us intelligence. Like, oh, we cannot think that, oh, I mean, I will not. Let me put my hand in the fire. Whatever happens is happen. No, Krishna has given us intelligence. We have to use our intelligence in a perfect way. So one who does not foolishly think himself as the sole cause does not get around by anything. So a pure devotee is not motivated by false ego, or he knows that he is under the protection of Krishna. So Krishna has given us intelligence. We'll use it in Krishna seva. So that's why we have to at least to do some seva, on at least a daily basis, a weekly basis, in a center, a temple. We have to do some seva. And that's my understanding from Hare Krishna. Then.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So nice. So we saw over the last weekend that in the Sadhu Sangha how flawlessly everything was conducted uh, within the Sadhu Sangha when we were in that particular hall or we're eating with the other devotees in the dining place. Everything was, went very smoothly. And that's because all the devotees are putting their effort in making that happen and making that as a Krishna conscious place. And I think uh, one of the Bhagavatam class, uh, I don't know whether it was Sachidananda Prabhu or Vasheshika Prabhu mentioned that how just by being in this hall, we have transformed this whole hotel from if you because you just walk outside, it's the material world. So it brought sanctity to the whole place. It really sanctified the whole place in a way. So uh, one other thing, and this is different from this, but when Radhanath Swami was His Grace Radhanath Maharaj was giving his Bhagavatam class, uh, yeah, he went well over time. I think it was almost like not just 1 hour, but I think about 1 hour 20 minutes. Then one of the Matajis came up to him and tried to get his attention. So he kind of waved her off, and then he looked to the audience, and he knew that we were all late for breakfast. So he then said that we can then eat all the remnants. So so remnants there has a different. We know what remnants means. So we really left with remnants if he went on even more. So yeah. Any other comments from anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Prabhuji, Shubhal Prabhu, you, Basati Mataji, everyone explained very well, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was multitasking, Prabhuji, so I could not focus. But thank you for a very nice explanation, Prabhuji. Herbal for all the seva.
Thank you, Anand Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, I think let's see. Sunita Mataji, you'd like to say anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for very much explaining us. A takeaway from my side is that, so before coming to Krishna conscious, most of the time we think like people like we think that whatever we do, so I am the doer. Most of the time we think, but once come to here and so once part of the Krishna conscious, so then we realized that so whatever say mercy of Krishna, like we are the instruments by Krishna, like if he sanction, then only our actions we perform. That is, if we remember all the time, then I don't think we will get illusion or any ego and all. So as you mentioned, Raghu Prabhu, so not only by reading Bhagavad Gita verses, it's not going to be help us. So if we applied in our life, so then that much, then only the pure the results. So what we spent to read entire verse, that will give the essence, right, Prabhuji? So other than just reading and then like parrot, like reading, if you do not implementing in our life, it won't, we won't go much further to reach to Krishna. That's what my understand, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I think they're all very good understandings. So you raise a good point. We have got to apply what we are reading here in our daily lives, and that's what Krishna consciousness is all about. So we are right at 9 o'clock. Is there anyone else wants to say anything? Otherwise, we'll stop here.
Hare Krishna. I
Hare
really like what
Krishna.
the one Prabhu was mentioning about how he's inspired to be a good devotee, like in his family. Because I'm always thinking that I have to like make sure that I'm doing classes and reading and doing my part to keep myself to be a good devotee, so I can be used to others. So I just like appreciate it and relate to him what he was saying.
Thank you. Thank you, Mother. Okay, we'll stop here then. Vancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhyo evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Raghu Prabhuji, Subal Prabhuji,
Thank you.
Baswati Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhupada ki jai, Raghu Prabhu ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Bye.
Thank you.